It is time to make a yogurt. Now I know I made yogurt. I made Crazy Easy yogurt. I even showed you the end of the yogurt I made in my crock pot. I even gave you Creating Essence's website where she made her yogurt in her crock pot. But I've had a couple of requests that I make my own in the crock pot. So here we go. Now I have a small little crock pot. I got this because there's only 2 of us. And it's really easy for me to make my steel cut oats in this crock pot, and it's really easy for me to make my yogurt. So step 1, plug it in, turn it on low, take your milk, and fill it up. And I am going to have to get a little more milk. Mix my cream in there. All right, I'm going to give myself a little bit of room. Put the lid on. Put it on low. This is the thermometer I'm going to use later, and I'm just going to sit it back here. And in about 3 hours, I'm going to check it and see if it's 180 degrees. And that's what I'm going to do. I'll be right back in 3 hours. It has been 4.5 hours. And it's at 177, so I'm going to call it good enough. And actually I want to show you what it's got. It gets a little film on the top. Now, because I buy raw milk that's got cream in it, that's really, really good to eat. So I just do that. So I'm going to remove this and just leave the lid off and let it go down to 115. Okay? I'll see you back when it does that. Oh, and you know what? Last time it took a really long time. And I actually forgot that it took that long of a time. And so we poured it from that into a bowl because it cooled much, much faster. So I will probably do that. I just happen to have a bowl right here. Now I'll pour it back into that bowl when it's cooled because it'll go back into here for the night. But this will just help it because otherwise it can take an hour or so to do it. So that way I'll just leave it like that. Okay, while I'm waiting for my yogurt, I'm going to take my next batch of kefir water and strain it. I got a new pitcher that So the mistake that I have found that I made was they make these much smaller and I didn't know how big I would need it. But now I can just pour it straight into here and it can collect the crystals. And that's better. This one I'm going to make into lemonade, and then I will have you, and then I'm going to see how to rest these because I think I've got enough to drink for a while. This is a clean jar, so I'm going to pour it into here. And I'm going to take lemon, and I'm going to put it so that the seeds go into my hand instead of, well, that just still went in there. So it's really healthy, good, probiotic lemonade. Ooh, I had a cut on my hand. I can sure feel that. Now I'm just going to put a lid on it and stick it in the refrigerator. We're at 1:15, so I'm going to go in and take out some milk and put it into my bowl. Take my yogurt that's left over from the batches that I've made, and I'm putting about 1/3 of a cup in. You know, this isn't a science. You can put 2 tablespoons, you can put 1/2 a cup. I'm choosing 1/3 of a cup this time. And I'm stirring it all up, and then I pour it back in there. I'm going to plug in my crock pot and turn it on high for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to push it back here, and I'm going to go upstairs and get a big bath towel, and that's going to set over this all night, because this is going to get turned off in 5 minutes and unplugged. And then in the morning, we'll open it up. Now, wasn't that really, really easy? So I'm making another batch of sugar water for my Kefirs grains, and I'm going to tell you what to do if you decide you need to rest them. And I'm not going to rest mine yet because I really want to try mine in coconut water. That's another one of the things that we can do. But you need to have your grains having been activated and have been used for at least 3 weeks. If I did want to rest them, then I'm going to make up sugar water exactly the way we've done it, and I'm just swirling my water, my hot water in my sugar right now. And I'm going to add my 3 cups of water. If I did want to rest them, then I do this exact thing, and I put them in here, and I stick them in the refrigerator. When you put them in the refrigerator, that stops them or slows them down a lot. And remember, this needs to be at room temperature between 68 and 81 and 86. So it's at 81 right now. I'm actually going to let it cool down just a little bit more. So you put them in the refrigerator in this container with the lid on, and once a week you make new sugar water for them so that they can stay alive. You're not trying to kill them. That is 5 minutes for my yogurt. So I'm going to take my blanket and put over it. I have it unplugged, I have it turned off. And now I've got it wrapped up. Put it to bed and let it do its thing. Back to my kefir. All All right, so I'm gonna put my grains back in here. Now when we're resting our grains in the refrigerator, there's a short-term one and a long-term one. Your short-term one is for 3 weeks, so you really don't want to have them be in there longer than 3 weeks. And then the other ones you can do is up to 6 months. Got my yogurt in bed, got my kefir water in bed. Good morning. The unveiling. There you go. Do you see that? Now it's got some whey on it, and so I can drain that off. So what I'm gonna do is set it in the refrigerator for an hour or so and let it separate, and then I will drain the whey off. That's very good. Very, very good. Okay, last step in the fridge for, if I could drain it right now, strain it, but I don't need, it's easier if I just pour it off and then I don't get this all in a cheesecloth and everything. So yogurt and strawberries, or yogurt and blackberries, or yogurt and blueberries, that's our ice cream that we have now in the evening if we want to have something. So come with me and we're going to open up the kefir. Now, I've not ever done this. I've watched it be done, and I know that you're supposed to put something over it. And this little metal thing here that releases, I have to release it a little at a time. And maybe this isn't going to be so, because what I saw done was really, really potent, and that didn't pop at all. So I'm going to test a little of this and see if I need to keep it going. My fear is that my grains are so new that they're not doing everything they need to do yet, and so you just have to keep feeding them and feeding them. So let me and if I understand right, I'm not learning how to do this right because I got no fizz whatsoever. And it just tastes like the blackberry juice. I'm gonna need to call the company. So, we're learning about kefir together. Back in the fridge, I'll call the company. I just took it out of the refrigerator. It's nighttime. It's been in there all day, and there's hardly anything on here. I just dumped out a little tiny bit, and you can see how chunky it is. And I'm going to put it into my jars and make a little mess, put a lid on it. If you are a huge family, then you can make more. But if you're a small family like we are, then this just comes out perfect to be able to do this. So hopefully you feel like all we did was fill it full of milk, take it to 180, cool it down to 115, take a little milk out, mix it with some yogurt, 2 tablespoons, 1/3 of a cup, half a cup, put it back in, turn it on high for 5 minutes, unplug it, turn it off, put a towel on it, see you in the morning. That's it. As far as the kefir goes, we're still learning. Hope you have a great time. We'll see you on Monday.